Holdfast Marine's videos are brought to you with support from Totalboat and from viewers like you. To support our channel, please subscribe and use our discount codes at totalboat.com. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Will from Holdfast Marine, your local boat shop. Coming up today, we're going to remake our shop sign that hangs at the end of the driveway. We're going to be making it from pine, and then the inlay we're going to do with a Totalboat 2-to-1 epoxy kit. That's coming up right now from Holdfast Marine, your local boat shop. I hope at least one, or maybe two of you people watching these videos figured out that intro. There's more to come, trust me. Well, like I said outside, today we are going to be making a new shop sign. And in order to do that, I'm going to be using this long, thick piece of pine, which has a huge whoop-de-doo in it. Yeah, so this board, it's got a pretty big bow to it, and it's too wide for my joiner, and I also don't want to cut this down any because we're going to have to at least join the edge and glue it all together before we start using the CNC to cut this in. But what I am going to do to try and flatten this board is actually use my CNC. I'm going to be using a large 1/2-inch router bit in the router, and I'm going to run it across and face, I would say, probably the worst side. So I'll be setting 0 on the most dished or unflattened part after I clamp it down. And then I'm going to run the cutter head over that. Now that I've cut these two pieces out, you can really see how absolutely crooked they are. And both of the pieces here have cups this way. I can actually see it in the... So I'm going to mark those curves. Now I just got to set up the CNC. All right, well, it's either going to be great or a disaster, so let's see what happens. You can see how unflat it really is. Well, our piece is done. Yay. I am going to unclamp this and then make a couple of square cuts. Not square cuts, but they're going to be cuts just to get this high lip off both sides. And then we're going to start running stuff through the joiner. So as you can probably hear in the background, I've got my CNC machine flattening the other piece. And then I'm going to run this through this joiner, and we're going to take off a lot. We're going to get this down to about 1 inch. So we're taking off about 3/4 of an inch. And I'm going to try and do that as quick as possible. But get ready for another time lapse, folks. Alrighty, so now that I've got the floor cleaned up, I went ahead and I joined one edge on my joiner and then cut these down to 28 inches, give or take, because that's what they're supposed to be. So the next thing is my sign, I had to check my measurements, is 16 inches. So I'm going to cut both of these down to 8 inches, rip them down on the table saw. And then I think we're going to be ready for biscuits and glue and some clamps. That'll be fun, won't it? I've gone ahead and set up my biscuit joiner for some number 20 biscuits, and I've done my layouts, and I am now going to go ahead and cut those joints. Get some glue on here and in the biscuit hurls. It's an Archie Bunker reference, for those of you who didn't know. He would sometimes not say things correctly. I'm going to do the same on this side. Well, I know I said I was going to do it, but it's almost 4 o'clock. I'd kind of like to... when you get a new apron, you got to get something on it right off the bat, otherwise you try and keep it clean. But I kind of want to go home, and I want to see my wife, and I want to make her some... We're going to have breakfast for dinner tonight. So we're going to have omelets and sausage and kinds of good stuff. So I think this is a good ending place for this portion of the video. Next time, which will probably be tomorrow, next time we're going to unclamp this bad boy and get the pick a side that we like the most, and then get the logo carved out of this. This sign has the logo on both sides, and we're going to be using the totalboat high performance resin, and we're going to be doing a pigment. And then we're going to be going over it with the Halcyon Rugged Clear Gloss over the whole schlabloogie or schlablangle or whatever reference you want to use. But that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be going over the whole thing with this wonderful stuff, a product that I have also never used. So that's going to be the next part of this video, which will be tomorrow for me, and might be a nanosecond for you, or it might be a video later. I'm not so sure yet. We'll see how much time we got. Well, good morning. It's another day here at the shop, and we're going to continue on with our sign project. We're going to start off this morning by removing the piece from the clamps, and then we're going to go ahead and stick that into the CNC machine and get ready for cutting. After we do the cutting, we're going to do a sanding and then apply some of the epoxy into the pieces that we cut out of the sign, so that because it's pine, so that the pigment doesn't bleed into that surrounding area. And then we're going to try and dry that pretty quick with a hair dryer. It's a nice snowy day out there, so it's a good day to be in the shop and be nice and warm. Alrighty, so I've finished up kind of the drawing that I want to do. We have our name of our shop, and since we call ourselves your local boat shop, we've added that in there, our phone number and our website address. And we're going to be using the X-Carves software called Easel for this, and we're going to be using a 60-degree bit. And I think what I'm going to do before I put this in the machine is I'm just going to go ahead and change the font of the phone number. I'd like something a little bit more bold, and then maybe change this to something more bold. But other than that, that's what we're going to do. I've got the machine clamped up in here, so we're ready to roll pretty much. Okie dokie, well, we've got the program ready to go. Everything has been zeroed and set to where it needs to be. Flip her on here. And we're going to start our cut, and fingers crossed, yeah, bleeding, but fingers crossed. It goes good. Here we go. Well, as you can see and hear, my machine is still running. I was kind of hoping that this would be done, but it's taken almost 2 hours just to carve what's there. Oh, it's finishing now. What do you know? Let me shut this off real quick. All right, so yeah, all right, it's done. But it is 3:30 almost, and I don't know if you can see out there, but it's a blizzard, sort of. And I have to go pick my wife up from work because I like to drive her in when it's going to be snowy. Hi, we're back, and the sign is done. There's one side. There's t'other. So what am I doing now? Well, we're going to mix up some of the 2-to-1 high performance, and I'm going to use a little chip brush, and I'm going to go in, and I'm going to get some epoxy along the edges so that I don't get any bleeding, not from my body, but from the pigment going in, because I don't want I don't want it to get ruined. Now, quick note: I have not done any sanding on this whatsoever because I want to be able to sand away the epoxy that's kind of on the edges. And if you take a look here, I'll bring you guys in. I was a little disappointed in my machine. I love this font. It looked really nice, but what happened was that the little swirlies here, same thing around the L's and what, they're shallow. They're not as deep as I thought they were going to be. So that's kind of a problem, because if I sand this now and then do the inlay and sand it again, I might lose that detail, and I don't want to lose that. So the plan is going to be all of the lettering. So this is going to be done in the red that you guys picked over on Instagram. And then the inside of the boat is going to be all white. That way it at least matches my logo on my hats. So that's what we're going to do. We'll get some epoxy mixed up and we'll go. So here we go. You guys know the drill. It's 1 pump of resin to 1 pump of hardener. So I'm going to grab out my little chip brush here, and we're going to try it out on the big area first, just because, well, I want to. So I'm going to start with the white. I'm going to mix up some white, and we'll see what happens. All right, so let's get some pigment in here. Put in a little bunch of drops in there. We'll see what that looks like.
Shut up and sit down.
I only got one side of the sign done because I am still waiting for some little epoxy injector needly things. But it is done, and it's been sanded down to 220. And everything is a mess in here, but you guys don't care. So everything's been sanded down to 220. I've wiped this whole thing down with some of the eco solvent, because what happened was, as I was sanding the red, it kind of impregnated itself into the wood. I got most of it out, but you can clearly see some in the O and around there, but that's okay. We're going to be trying out this halcyon clear varnish. This is the gloss varnish. I figured gloss would be good. So I'm going to shake out the old bagaroony here. So let's pour some of this into the bag. Ooh. And we're just going to, everything else is dry. Just going to brush some on here, I guess. For those of you following me over on Instagram, you will have seen that my wife and I just got a 8-week-old English Bulldog puppy. And if you guys would like to see those photos, head on over to my Instagram page. All right, well, what do you guys think? Does it look good? I mean, it looks pretty shiny. Definitely soaking into the wood pretty good. I really like this halcyon stuff. This is pretty cool. It'd be interesting to see how it holds up outside. Maybe we'll revisit this time next year, maybe, and kind of check and see how it's been doing. So thank you to everybody who watched this video. I really appreciate it. It makes me so happy to see that there's a baker's dozen or 20 of you out there at least watching the videos. I really, really appreciate that. Head over to totalboat, fill up your shopping cart, and enter discount code HoldFastMarine, and you will get 15% off of your order. Please comment down below. Please subscribe to the channel. I don't know how many we have now, but we've gained quite a few subscribers in the past few weeks. Thank you guys. And hit the bell notification so that you get notifications of my new videos, because obviously you guys are enjoying them. Alright, I am going to clean the shop up, head home to the new puppy, head over to my Instagram channel, or that way, whichever way you guys go, and follow us over there as well. So, we'll see you next time.